You're listening to The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey with local credit experts Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan. Now, here's Jason and Damon.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Radio Network in Northern Jersey. The roads are paved. You're driving around on this beautiful Sunday morning, and I'm stuck in a studio with Damon. And Jennifer and Sean from Superior Mortgage. So we're going to have a little conversation with them during this segment about the mortgage industry and what Superior Mortgage has lined up for all of its customers.
But before we get into that, I wanted to treat our listeners to the last and final thing that the credit card companies don't want you to know these days. And Jason, why don't you get and let them know?
Well, there's actually a lot of stuff they don't want you to know, all dealing with money. But the last one that we have is that you can actually negotiate your rates. So the annual fees.
These guys are really good at making. We talk about it every week. These guys are good at making money, and they don't like to lose money. And in any way that they can keep that money in their pocket, they're going to. A lot of our clients in the credit restoration business need credit, and we help them get secured credit cards. And secured credit cards come with an annual fee. But, you know, if you've become a good paying client, if you're a client that they want to keep on their books, then it's something that can be negotiated. Will it be? Who knows? But again, the worst that can happen is they're going to tell you no. And so never look at your contract as an open-ended contract with them. And each point of that contract can be negotiated, and it could be negotiated frequently to try to get you the best deal as you can get. Yeah,
and don't take anything for face value. And one more side note, just because we're talking about how they make money every single way. I want you to look at your next credit card statement. And you live here in Northern Jersey. I live in New York City. And check where you're sending your payment. Because they have pay centers all across the country. But odds are, if you're here in the Northeast, the processing center that's on the pre-printed envelope is going to be somewhere in California, Arizona, or Nevada. Because it takes an extra day to get there.
That's right. So another day of interest.
Extra day of interest. Another thing that the credit card companies were doing is they'd process your payment at the 0 hour. So you'd get the payment in on the exact day right before it was due. Well, guess what? Eastern time and you're on the West Coast, or you just send it in after hours to the West Coast. They were processing it as the next day. One more day of interest, as well as you get a late fee.
It's billions and billions of dollars. That's why they're very smart.
Absolutely. So if you want, handwrite your own envelopes. Check out what your processing center is that's close to you. There are so many ways they make money. But today is not about making money by the credit card companies. It's about saving you some money. Who we have here is Jennifer DeGreza, as well as Sean Marshall, and they're here from Superior Mortgage. You can contact Superior Mortgage at 973-929-6000. Welcome to the studio, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
I'm personally excited to have a mortgage company, and I know these guys, and they know their stuff. But I wanted to introduce them to our audience for a few different reasons, because so many different things have been changing in the mortgage market. Before we even dive in, guys, Sean, why don't you tell me a little bit about Superior Mortgage?
Okay, we've been in business since 1987. We're a mortgage banker and direct lender, and we have offices up and down the East Coast, but primarily based in New Jersey. Jen and I actually opened up a branch with Superior Mortgage about 5 years ago. And we have relationships with a number of different investors. So if somebody comes to us and they have a situation that maybe another bank wouldn't look at as closely as us, we were able to send them to another investor that we have that we can actually close their loan.
Fantastic. Awesome. So the biggest question that I get every day, because most of our clients in credit repair are either going towards a mortgage or trying to refinance or trying to do something. And the question is that I get, I have a 610 credit score. I have a 620, 630, 640. Can I get a mortgage? Do I need a 700 credit to get a mortgage?
Yep, I think that is a common misconception. Right now you need a 620 score to get a mortgage. A lot of the people I hear talking about this on TV and the radio have it wrong. You don't need a 700 score to buy. So we do have programs that allow people to buy a house with 620 score.
Yeah, absolutely. And to add to that, there's different types of programs as well. There's conventional lending, there's FHA lending. As a direct lender, we could do your loan at Superior Mortgage, or we can broker it out as well to some of our other investors. So we have a couple of different opportunities to look at.
So it's in essence, you're able to get them the best deal that they, because every client deserves a different deal, perhaps. and if you're able to get that for them, that's awesome.
It's not just a peg into a shaped hole. I get, you look at the client, what their situation is, and depending on the circumstances, there's always some kind of deal for them.
How much do they have to put down? I know personally when I bought a house years ago, I put 20% down. And then I sort of got a little peeved because I was renting and everybody started putting 3% down and 3.5% down. I thought it was missing the boat. But today's a different world. It's a different market. What do you have to put down to buy a house?
You can do 3.5% down for FHA and as little as 5% down for conventional. So, again, there's a lot of misconceptions that you have to put down 20%. That isn't the case. If you have good credit scores, you're still able to put down 3.5% FHA, and if you have a little better credit scores and you can put 5% down, you can do a conventional loan without mortgage insurance. So there's a number of different options for people.
Nice. What kind of loans do you get? I know, again, I can only speak from personal experience, but I had an adjustable rate mortgage, and I had no idea, first of all, if I could just say that before I was in the mortgage business, I got an ARM, and I thought that literally that it meant something physical. Was just like a code word for something. Nobody took the time to explain exactly what an adjustable rate mortgage meant. I was certainly under the impression that an adjustable rate mortgage meant that it's going to adjust every month. And the title attorney that I was working with didn't bother to explain it to me. What does it mean? If somebody's in a 5-year ARM, what does it mean?
Well, that's actually a common question we get. Most people don't understand how adjustable mortgages work. What happens is that you're actually going to pick a fixed period of time. So, for example, you can get a 5-year fixed mortgage, and then after that 5-year period, once a year, the loan will adjust. You can choose a 7-year or a 10-year, and it works the same way. A perfect person for this product would be someone who's a first-time homebuyer. Say they're buying their first condo or they're buying a one-family house, and their idea is maybe to move up in maybe 3 or 5 years and buy a newer, bigger, larger home. Well, if they can lock in at a rate that's going to be fixed for 7 years or 10 years, then they're taking themselves out of the risk, and they're also getting a lower rate for that period of time.
That's awesome information. And first off, it's obviously it's refreshing to hear someone that knows what they're talking about. If you want to call Jen and Sean at Superior Mortgage, I suggest giving them a call now at 973-929-6000. That's right. And you're listening to the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio, Jason and Damon. Feel free to give us a call on our off-air line, 973-771-5118. 973-771-5118, or always on the web at creditrepair.to. One of the other questions that I had, I get a lot of this as well. How often does it happen that people are trying to get a loan and they come into your office and they sign a contract, and then 2 weeks later they purchase a vehicle, and then that vehicle prevents them from getting a loan? What should people buy or not buy in the process of going to get a house?
I would say in the process of searching for your mortgage, you shouldn't make any major purchase without checking with your loan advisor at the time. Specifically, major purchases, I mean like cars or anything like that. But typically you shouldn't be taking out any new credit while in the process of buying a home is the advice that we like to give, because we have seen people that have made those purchases while in process, and it has caused problems for underwriting. So that's the best thing.
And they should probably also make their payments on time with the credit that they do have, right?
Exactly.
When they buy something, Sean, what is the problem with buying something or taking on some more debt?
I guess when we initially take the loan application, we're analyzing their profile on the information that's given to us. So if it's going through the stages of underwriting and we go to repull credit to make sure their scores are still where they're supposed to be, and we see additional debts that they've incurred, it just throws a monkey wrench in their file, and another reason that we would possibly turn somebody down if there was additional debts that they had taken out during the process.
Sure. If you are going for a loan and you show that you've applied for 15 credit cards in the last 3 weeks, it probably shows that you're unstable. Or you have something, or you have crazy eyes.
Or now that you got your own new Ferrari, you can't afford the house.
Probably.
Right. We want to make sure our customers aren't overextended and will be able to make that mortgage payment on time each and every month.
Starting the process to buy a home, we always recommend to our clients that they maintain a credit monitoring service or be aware of know where they stand before going in, know how much money they make, know how much outstanding debt they have, know what their credit score is. How long does the process normally take, and what can people do to prepare before that process to make sure that they're going into it with a clear head?
I think they should reach out to a mortgage professional that can help them, I would say 6 months before they're even ready to buy, because that'll give them the time to save the proper amount of money, to make sure their bills are in line with what they're spending. They want to put themselves in a good position. If they do need to make changes or improvements on their credit report, they'll have the time to do that so that they're ready to do this the right way. Sean and I will take the extra time to sit down and walk the person through exactly what they should be doing and through the process, so it's not as overwhelming as everybody hears about.
Right, and don't freak out if you have bad credit, right? If you have a problem with your credit going into this process and you're aware that you want to buy something in 6 months, well, 6 months, in my opinion, is a reasonable enough time to remedy some of the damage that's been done to a credit report. And that's why we work with Superior Mortgage to be able to try to see these things 6 months out to try to get you to the finish line. I also wanted to talk about interest rates because it's a little bit confusing to a lot of people out there, me included, why they fluctuate as wildly as they do. And also, it's concerning that the banks are getting money at 0%, free money essentially, and the interest rates for consumers are continuing to rise. Where are interest rates right now?
Right. Interest rates are going to depend on a variety of things like income, equity, credit, the person's loan amount. So I can't just tell you exactly where interest rates are because it's based on all those factors and it's going to be different from customer to customer. Right now, even though everybody has heard over the last couple of weeks interest rates have increased, they're still at historic lows. I mean, right now, if you have very good credit, you can still get a 30-year fixed at around 4.75 or a 15-year program at 4.25. So the rates are out there. It just depends on, do they have the solid income? Can they make those payments on time? Those kind of things would need to be evaluated.
Sure, and that you have your credit in line.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome.
Are there different levels, like for credit scores? Like, is like a tier 1 is 700, a tier 2 is 600, something like that?
Absolutely. The top tier is over 740.
Do you know what percentage of the population has a 740? It's so nominal. And it's odd because I was reading a story as a quick aside that in the Midwest, their average credit scores are like 760. I don't even think I know anyone with the 760 credit score these days. It's so tough. Very difficult to maintain. Mike, Board Op does, but, and myself, I personally do, and Mr. Kaplan does, but not anyone else that I know because, things are tough these days. People carrying high interest debt.
And all I have to do is pay attention to my credit all day. That's all I do.
That is all you do.
There you go. One thing that we found really helpful with customers is most people think credit repair is only for people who are having problems and who have bad credit. But we have actually used it to help people that might have like a 729 or 730 come into our office. And they're not going to qualify for the very best rates and programs out there. But that's where you guys come in. If you can help us get them to that 740, that 741 FICO score, now they're qualifying for the very best rates out there.
Sure, and the difference between their 4.25% interest rate that they would have at say, a 740, and maybe their 5.25% that they would have at a considerably less credit score makes a big difference over the life of a loan. Thousands upon thousands of dollars that people will save simply by just trying to get their credit score just a bit higher. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely. And everyone who's listening, you can give Jennifer and Sean a call. It doesn't cost any money. They're here to give information. So all it's about is giving information and trying to help people. So you can call them at 973-929-6000. That's the guys from Superior Mortgage.
One other thing I wanted to talk about, and I thought it was interesting, and Jen, you and I were talking about it, is the stimulus program that more or less Superior Mortgage is offering to your clients. Tell me a little bit about how you're helping people get to the table and make closing on a mortgage affordable.
Well, we're finding a lot of customers are just having a hard time saving money these days for the down payment. So a lot of people are buying an FHA loan and using 3.5% down. Well, Sean and I are running this promotion at Superior Mortgage where we can help discount the customer's closing costs by $800. So this is helping those customers who are having a hard time scraping that money together, give them a little breathing room, and we're getting them in that home. You know, the American dream.
Yeah, sure. I think it's fantastic. Every little bit helps. And if you've been sitting on the fence, worried about whether or not you have enough money to get to the table, whether you have the resources, whether you have the credit score, there are answers for you. The best thing to do is start picking up the phone and finding out those answers. Give Jennifer a call. Give Sean a call at Superior Mortgage. Again, their number is 973-929-6000, 973-929-6000. You're listening to the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio Network. Our number is 973-771-5118. And Superior Mortgage, you can check them out online at superior178.com. Again, that's superior178.com. And lastly, one thing I wanted to know in the mortgage business, do you guys help with people that are trying to buy short sales and things like that?
Yep.
That process is available. Is it any different to buy a short sale than it is to buy a regular house that's
the only difference is probably the time it would take to actually close the loan, because the process with the banks takes a little bit longer. One thing I did want to point out, we do the short sales as well as regular homes, but nowadays you can actually buy a home using FHA financing with all gift money. So you technically don't have to have any money in the bank, and you could still buy a house through the FHA through gift money. So as long as it's immediate family member, you're able to use a gift from a family member to purchase a home, and you could still get a great interest rate. So that's also something we can put together.
So if you do that, do they still get the $800 closing cost credit?
Absolutely, because they're going to need it.
That's true.
You hear that, Grandma? We need some closing money, please.
That's right. So if you have a grandma who is hiding a sack of $20 bills under the clean ones, not the bloody ones like in my family, but the clean ones, then you can borrow those from Grandma and buy a house. It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to be able to get into home ownership in the American dream. You're listening to the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio Network. Please give us a call on our offline number. Jason and myself, Damon, we're always available to speak with you. Our number is 973-771-5118, 973-771-5118. Stick around after the break. We're going to go through some fantastic credit true or false, and you're going to figure out how to save some money. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771-5118. This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Hello, Jason Kaplan here, host of the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey. I'm thrilled that I get to speak to you every week and bring you the truths about your credit. A lot of stuff you hear in the news is just flat out wrong. If you want the inside knowledge about what's going on with your credit, that's what I'm here for. Give me a call at 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118. Whether you're looking to buy a home, get a job, apply for car insurance, your credit's the most important factor in these decisions. I can help you make an educated decision about what's going on and what's best for you and your family. It's easy. I give you the real facts and you decide what to do from there. Just give me a call. I'm here to help. 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118. Or visit us online at creditrepair.to. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back from the break soon.
The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey is hosted by local credit and finance experts Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan. The purpose of the show is to help consumers understand what's really going on with their credit. They're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. If you are having problems qualifying for a purchase, or you're tired of high interest rates because of bad credit, Jason Kaplan can help. Call Jason directly at 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118. Take advantage of speaking with Jason anytime you're having a credit problem. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Jason Kaplan and the Credit Pros today, and you'll be glad you did. 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118, or you can visit creditrepair.to for more info. For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771-5118.